Greetings, RoomKeyPMS users. In this next session, we are going to learn how we can attach a cancellation policy to a client type. But before I jump into that, I'd like to take a step back and talk about all of the areas that you can attach a cancellation policy to within RoomKeyPMS. It is possible to attach a policy to 4 different areas. When policies are attached to multiple areas like this, the PMS will use a priority preference to choose which policy to apply to a reservation and to show on a confirmation. The structure is as follows. The PMS, RoomKey, will use the policy attached to the client type first, then the rate plan policy, then the room type policy, and finally the default property policy. The property policy will be used first by default if no policy is attached to any of the other modules. Okay, so if there is no client type policy, the system will automatically select the rate plan policy. If both a room type policy and a rate plan policy were created, the rate plan policy will override the room type policy, etc. You can find this information in our support site, support.roomkeypms.com. It can get a little overwhelming, and if you're taking notes, that's great, but it is there for you to see in our support site. Continuing on, so we want to attach a policy to a client type today. Before I go to my client type area, we're going to make sure that I have the policy that I want. Okay, so we're going to head to System Configuration, to Policy. All right, I have a number of policies in here. So my end result today is that I want to attach a group policy to my group client type. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to make sure that my active arrow is pointed at groups, and then you can see the information displayed below. If I see something that is wrong or I need to update it, I definitely can do that. I'm going to use my edit button up on the top right-hand side. Okay, so we know how to do that. In this scenario, my name is groups for the code. This is not seen by clients or guests. This is an active policy. This is not the default for the property or for the online booking for our booking engine clients out there. Next, our guarantee. Is a credit card required? That's what this is talking about. Guarantee is required. This is saying the credit card is necessary to make a booking. Deposit. A deposit is required for this client type. So what is that based on? In this case, it's based on the percentage of the stay. It's 50%. That's the percentage of the stay that it's based on. There are other selections in here. We visited them and in another session. You definitely can go check that out at support.roomkeypms.com, or one of the videos is how to set up a default policy for your property. And we go through the options there. So let's carry on. Percentage of the stay is what I've selected. And cancellation, so the penalty is charged. I have a penalty that is charged within 672 hours of their arrival. Arrival being at 3 p.m. So that actually translates to 28 days. We do have to make it out into hours, okay? So you just need to figure that out. And so 28 days before arrival, if someone is to cancel, they will not be receiving their deposit back because my penalty is 50% of the stay, exactly what we took when we made the booking. Makes it easy. Okay, if I'm happy with all of this and the verbiage that's shown below, I can say okay. There's no need for me to talk to the modification because this is for my online booking and I'm not using this for my groups area. So now let's go and head to our client types so that we can attach this cancellation policy. X out of here on the top right-hand side. Okay, and then we're going to head over to System Configuration again to Client Types. Okay, next we're needing to find the client type that we want to add the policy to. In this case, here it is. It's our group client type. And now you can see the active arrow pointed at it, and below you can see the information. So here's my policy tab. This is what we're going to be affecting today. And you can see that it's blank. I don't have any policy attached at the moment. So we want to go ahead and insert. Oh, and it's already popping up with the appropriate cancellation policy. That doesn't always happen, so we need to know that there's a drop down here if we click on the field and select the appropriate policy. Well, in this case, it is groups, and I want this, these are the dates that I'm going to select. So the 25th of August, as of today, going forward, except that I need this to extend into the new year. So I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to go forward, and it's actually the end of January that I want this to be attached to. I can always come in and insert another line of dates for sure. Also, this priority area, this has to do, we talked about it at the top of the video, but this is if there are conflicting policies in place, overlapping dates, etc. So in this case, we want to make sure that the priority is set, at this time it's set to 0. So 0 means it's first. So this policy will be the priority for this client type, okay? If we put in 2, it would be second, and if we put 3 in, if we put in 1, it would be second. If we put in 2, it would be third, etc. Priority would be used when there is more than one policy where dates overlap. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to post my work. And I am done. So hope that was helpful, and thanks for watching.